If you're playing the disc for the very first time, select the step-by-step guide from the menu. Alternatively, if you're already familiar with each procedure or want to jump to a particular test pattern, select Test Patterns. Finally, if you want to see the difference your changes have made, you can select one of the short videos in the Check the Results section. Welcome to Know How Picture Perfect. This guide has been designed to show you how you can greatly improve the picture quality of your TV using test patterns, created specifically for TV optimization. The whole procedure should only take around 30 minutes to complete. Don't worry, you don't need any prior knowledge to get started. We will guide you through each of the tests, one step at a time. Once you've completed the procedure, you can sit back and enjoy the best possible viewing experience achievable on your new or existing TV. Before we begin, we like to explain why optimizing your TV in this way is such a good idea. After all, if you've just bought a new TV, why would you need to? Shouldn't the picture be amazing out of the box? Well, you may be surprised to learn that your new TV has had its default picture settings preset by the manufacturers to best suit a store environment, not your home. The reason for this is to make sure that their range stands out amongst all the other makes and models on display. This is a challenge in a brightly lit store, so to compensate, the contrast, colour and brightness settings are turned up to the maximum. The downside is that although the picture looks great in the store, you're likely to be disappointed when you turn on your TV at home, because the picture will be overly bright and the colours unrealistic. By optimising your TV with Picture Perfect, you're effectively readjusting the TV picture settings to best suit a home environment, and better still, to the actual room it's in. The picture will appear noticeably different at first. It will certainly be dimmer than it was before, but now you're going to see a far more realistic display on screen. One that's richer in detail, with a picture that perfectly balances the correct levels of brightness, colour and contrast. Well, sure, you'll be delighted with the results. You can run the test on as many TVs as you want with this guide. So if you also have a TV in the kitchen or bedroom, for example, you can customise the settings for those as well. Oh, another thing, optimising your TV settings in this way will reduce the amount of energy they use. So not only will you enjoy a great picture, you might save a few pounds on your electricity bill while you're watching. Before we start working our way through the test patterns, you need to make sure there is no bright sunlight shining directly on your TV. You may have to close the curtains or blinds for this. You should set your room's lighting to how it would be normally. As we mentioned in the introduction, we're going to use a series of test patterns as a guide to optimising your TV. Throughout the guide, we'll describe what you need to do before showing the relevant test pattern on the screen. The test pattern will remain on the screen for several seconds. When it appears, you should press pause on your player's remote control. Remember, all of the instructions on how to use the test patterns are contained in the user's guide we've included in the case. You'll also find a colour filter card. We'll be using that later, so keep it to hand. As well as making any adjustments to the room's environment, you should familiarise yourself with the menu buttons on your TV remote and the remote for the device you are using to view Picture Perfect. We will refer to them as either your TV remote or player remote throughout the tests. Okay, are you ready to get started? Then we'll begin. Let's begin with the colour temperature and brightness pattern, starting with colour temperature. Firstly, it's important to let you know that colour temperature is not the same thing as colour. To explain, if your TV screen was a painting, the colour temperature would represent the canvas upon which your picture is painted. The colour of the canvas would subtly affect the colours of the paint upon it. In this case, a warm colour temperature would give everything a brown, orange or yellow tint, whilst a cool colour temperature would make everything slightly blue. Now, open your TV menu setting using your TV remote. We have provided a quick reference chart in the Quick Start Guide for some of the most popular TV manufacturers' menu settings. If your TV make isn't listed, refer to your TV's user manual. Once you're in the menu, look for the picture settings option. This will also have options for brightness, contrast, colour, etc. You'll probably be able to see something on the menu referring to the picture mode. This will most likely be set to something like dynamic or standard, but could be movie, game, sports or something similar. You need to choose the most normal mode available here, so something like standard would be ideal. You should avoid all dynamic modes, as they can affect optimization. As we want to start from a level playing field, the next thing we need is for you to turn off any picture enhanced settings your TV has. These have names such as dynamic colour, dynamic contrast, eco or power saving, MPEG or edge enhancement, skin tone enhance and so on. You can turn these on again later, but you may find you don't need to once optimization is complete. At this point, pause the disc using your player remote and ensure that any other modes are turned off using your TV remote. You might have to dig around a bit in some of the settings to find all of the modes. Refer to your TV's manual if you're not sure. When you're done, press the play button to carry on. Most TVs will allow you to choose between a warm or a cool colour temperature. Some TVs might have a number instead of the colour temperature. What we're looking for is the same though. If there is no colour temperature setting on your TV, you can skip this step. The first pattern that we're going to look at is a grayscale pattern called a plooge pattern. On the plooge pattern here, the centre section highlighted needs to display as grey. We are only focusing on this centre section for now. Ignore the parts of the side for the time being. It shouldn't have yellow or orange or blue tints within it. It should be as neutral or grey as possible to your eye. Pause the disc now and using your TV remote, locate the colour temperature setting and adjust it until you're happy with the results.